What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and your boy's got headphones, got a headset, got the works, proper YouTuber now, even a boom mic and everything. John, 2-2 draw with Forest. I probably would have took it before the game, but being leading twice, disappointing in the end not to get 3 points. Do you agree?
Yeah, I thought it was a fair result. I thought, for two teams, especially Everton, who were down there, it was the first time was it something like I heard the stats? It was the first time we'd scored 2 goals in the first half or something this season or whatever it was. But defensively, Michael, if we would have been better today, we get the 3 points, but I just thought the defence was all over the shop for the 2 goals. I know the second one was, for me, a big mistake by Decore. But going forward with Tamari Gray on the pitch today, I thought we looked better. It was more of an outlet. And I think you're seeing that with the midfield as well, the way every time we had the ball, we were trying to get on the front foot because we had someone like Tamari Gray up there as an option, as an outlet. I think when Maupai plays, I don't think that the midfield had as much confidence in games gone by to sort of utilise of getting on the front foot when Maupai was up front. But I thought with Tamari Gray up there today, I thought that the midfield was more comfortable to go forward more, and get our foot on the ball. Listen, it was a million times better performance than what we've seen on Wednesday night. I know chalk and cheese, Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, we know that, you know what I mean? But listen, we need points on the board. We need points, and you know that, I know that. Minimum was a point today. We have to beat Brentford.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, John, to be honest. I thought the performance was... I thought it was good in bits. I thought we looked good in bits. I thought we were aggressive in bits. But there were moments where defensively we were frail. I thought Ben Godfrey against Johnson, I thought he had a torrid game, if I'm being honest, Ben Godfrey. It's not necessarily his ability to head the ball or his physicality or his pace. He's got all of that. He's quality in that sense. It's when he's trying to go man for man in his positioning. He got caught twice. He got caught for the first goal today. He gets sucked inside, leaves Brennan Johnson with acres of space on the right-hand side who slots it in. Because obviously the ball had come across the box from the other lad who had shot. So that was poor. And the second goal, albeit it wasn't Godfrey, it was a mistake by Decore. But I sort of sat there and I thought, you know what, again, positioning's wrong, the whole team were out of shape. And bearing in mind, we were on the counter-attack. I don't know what Decore's doing. I don't know why he tries to play that pass. And ultimately, that pass has cost us the game. And what's frustrating about it is up until that point, I probably would have said Decore was our best player because, he was aggressive, he scored a goal, he was forward-thinking, he was carrying the ball, he was putting tackles in. I was really happy with Decore, and then I was disappointed that he's just lost his head. He's played a really poor pass. And it wasn't the only time that Everton did that. There was another opportunity where Iwobi tries to chip a man in front of him to run over.
Yeah, and then to run onto it.
Yeah, and you sit there and you think, what are you doing? Because it's stupid things like this. Yeah, it's stupid things like this that are costing Everton points. It was ridiculous. I was really disappointed that we haven't won that game of football. If I'm being totally honest, it was frustrating. I thought Dyche got right. At least he listened to what the fans said. Tamari Gray starting, you're absolutely right. He offers more than Mulpay. So I like to think he's learnt from that, and he'll continue to start Tamari Gray. But yeah, for me, the reason we haven't won that game today is not because they were better than us. It was because defensively we give them 2 goals. It was really poor.
I think the likes of Ben Godfrey, Michael, as you quite rightly said, he's good at bringing the ball forward. He's good, heading the ball out and clearing it. I think when he's got the ball at his feet, he thinks he's got more time than what he has. And I think he's very lax on the ball. And I think you can also say that about Decore as well. I think them 2 players feel like they're better than what they are. They feel like they've got more skill when they've got the ball at their feet, and they haven't. It's cost us. The other night we seen Ghana guy dwelling on the ball. You can't dwell on the ball. If you're not comfortable on the ball fucking twat it. Just get the pressure off. And we've seen it today, you know, time and time again. Listen, the home team will always have phases in the game where they'll have the better of the game. I think Forest come out the second half and they were like that. They had a spell in the first half where they were the better team. The home team will always have that. But when you know when the opposition's attacking you, Michael, if we've got the ball, clear your lines, because it was coming back at us all the time. The clearances weren't getting the distance on them, whether it was Godfrey, whether it was Tarkowski. There's no distance on the clearances. It was just coming back to us. And when you've got a defence that looked as shaky as what it did today, you can't put yourself under pressure. And that's exactly what we've done too many times today. Yeah. But yeah, we do take a point. You know, we've got, obviously we've played Forest today. We've got Brentford next week at home. We take 4 points. You know, we will take 4 points. Realistically, you know, we probably need 6 out of these 2 games, but it is what it is. You mentioned there about your best player, Decor. I thought Garner Guy had a very good game today. Considering, you know, the mistake he made the other night, his head could have dropped, and you know, all credit to Sean Dyche, because he put him back in there. You know, couldn't, because he took him off the other night, you know, after that mistake, he took him off. So he put him back in today, and I thought today he had a very, very good game. He was my man of the match today, Garner Guy.
Yeah, and to be honest, he ended up being mine, because he kept on playing for 95 minutes. He's
like a Duracell battery, isn't
he? Yeah, he just kept on going, and look, he's made mistakes in his last 2 games. We've all seen them. You know, he lunged in for a penalty against Villa the other week.
Yeah.
When that was a game that Everton, you know, at home probably should be at least getting a point. And against Arsenal, he was poor. The second goal was poor, but until then, he looked all right. But he's made 2 key mistakes today. He picked himself up, and he performed really well. The other person I want to give a little bit of credit to actually is Damari Gray, because he's came back into the side today, and although he's never physically going to out-battle Worrell and the other centre half, he made them have more problems than what Maupay would have done. He
put them under pressure. He put them under pressure, and I think, as I said before, Michael, you know, that helped the midfield out, because they seen an outlet, they seen someone who they could thread the ball to, you know, and running in the channels to put the centre-halves and their defence under pressure. And for me, next week, straight away, I'll say it now, I'll probably go with the same team, because it you know, at home, with the Goodison crowd against Brentford, you know, listen, let's not take nothing away from Everton today. Nottingham Forest have got a fantastic home record. So to go there and get a point, you know, let's be honest about it. It's not a bad result. Listen, we need 3 points from somewhere. It's not a bad result when you look at their home form. Forest are a good team at home.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think we've got 6 games left at home. Everton have probably got to win half of them, if not more. But Everton have got to go away from home and pick up points, pick up odd wins. So I'm content with a draw. It's just always disappointing when you lead, and you want to win the game. You want to be the team that gets the 3 points at the end. And just Everton, they've shot themselves in the foot today, as always.
They have shot themselves in the foot, Michael. But with the away record that we've got, let's be honest about it. At any point in that game, when we were 1-0 up and when we were 2-1 up, did you really think we'd see it through?
I said to Harriet, watch the game with me, and I said to her, if Everton are going to win this game, they've got to get 2 clear goals.
Score again. Yeah.
And they didn't. And you know, there was a couple of chances for us to do that. Certainly after half. I think it was just at the start of the second half. Ball gets whipped across, and Damari Gray. No, I think it was in the first half. Damari Gray shoots, but I think he hits Morgan Gibbs-White. And that would have made it. I think it was 2-0 at the time, or 3-1, and that probably puts the game to bed, because Forest don't score many goals. But what we saw today is both teams defensively ain't very good, and both teams going forward ain't very good, because they didn't create lots of chances. I'd argue that Everton possibly created slightly more, but I mean, on paper, I don't know if that's correct. But all in all, this game, if you'd have offered me a point before the game, I would have took it. But on the condition that Everton get 3 points against Brentford, and that's really tough. They're playing very, very well. We've then got a really tough game against Chelsea. Everton have got to start picking up points against tough teams, and that's what worries me.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're looking ahead now. If we can get the 3 points against Brentford and then take a point off Chelsea, that's 4 points out the next 2 games. So it does keep the points ticking over. What worries me, though, Michael, is the teams around us. Yeah. That's what worries me, because the teams around us are capable of scoring. You've got West Ham got absolutely battered yesterday. They've won 2 games in 12. One of them was against Everton last week. They won 4-0. So it's that tight down there. If you can pick 4 points up out your next 2 games and results go our way, it gets us away from it. But if we don't, and the teams around us pick the points up, then we're struggling. And this is how tight it is. And as you've just quite rightly said, Michael, we need to start picking up points from the better teams as well. Chelsea aren't no great shapes. I know they won yesterday, but they're no great shapes, Chelsea. Chelsea are very vulnerable, just like Everton. The Everton-Chelsea game, I know Chelsea are in a different league situation than what Forest are, but I think it'll be the same sort of game, Everton-Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? But we won't talk about that too much, because, it is a couple of weeks away. But the games that we've got coming up are going to sort of be the same sort of games as what we've seen today. And we've got a point today. Win your home games, pick up the odd point against the better teams or away from home, maybe get 3 points against the better teams somewhere along the line, and just hope and pray that the teams around us drop points, because that's all we can hope for.
They've got to slip up. That's the problem I have. They've got to slip up, because these teams that are in and around us, they're playing decent football. They're scoring goals. I mean, I've never known it. I don't know about you, but I've never known it with 12 games to go. I think it's 7 or 8 teams within 6 points or 5 points of the drop. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean,
it's very easy for some of these teams above us, up probably the 3 or 4 teams above us, to easily get dragged into it.
But if Everton win today, Forest are a point above us. A point. They're in it. They're right in it.
I still think Wolves get dragged into it personally,
but there's a few teams. I mean, there's Wolves. I think you've got Forest. I don't think they're out of it. West Ham, Leicester. I think you've got all the teams up to Crystal Palace that are in the mix to go down.
And that's why, exactly what we've just reiterated on and hit on there, Michael. That's why it's important to pick 3 points up at home, get 3 points against one of the better teams, and pick up the odd point away. Listen, we all know for the last couple of years now, Everton have got an awful away record. I think I heard a stat today, out of something like the last 29 games Everton have played away from home, we've lost 20. I don't go into any confidence away from home, but if we put performances in like that against teams who've got a decent home record, and let's be honest about it, Everton didn't deserve to get beat today. They probably didn't deserve to win, and that's why I said at the beginning of the video it was probably a fair result. Yeah. But we look better. If we can, going forward, last season we were having this conversation, Michael, or early on this season. Defensively, we looked okay. Going forward, we were absolutely dog. Today, going forward, we looked okay with having Gray up front, and the midfielders were pushing up. They were on the front foot at certain parts in the game. Defensively, back to that, we looked absolutely everywhere. We need that. It's a fine balance, Michael. Now we're in a situation now where we need the fine balance between the defenders knowing their job, stop making stupid mistakes, and also being able to get on the front foot when we've got the ball in the middle.
Yeah.
And using, so it is a fine balance, and that's down to the manager to find that.
We look better going forward, do you not think, between Dyche and Lampard now? Do you not think, I feel we look better going forward, and defensively we're not.
Defensively, we're not. Listen, we've had
it's silly
parts in this
mistakes,
season.
isn't it?
It is, and this is what I'm trying to say. It's if we can cut the silly mistakes out defensively, but also have that impetus when we've got the ball to move it fast, use the midfield, get the runners from the midfield, play Damari Gray up front. We look okay. It's when we're on the back foot, Michael, and we can't clear the ball and it's coming back to us like it's the Alamo. That's when the stupid mistakes hit in. It's a fine balance.
While I've got you, John, can I mention just, I know you've got to go in a minute, just one other quick thing. Obviously, MSP looks like this deal looks fairly imminent. Looks like changing a board, director, CEO, whoever. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, we've known this for a long.
To me, it's disappointing it didn't happen in January. You know, if Mashiri didn't want to put money in, want to put his hand in his pocket to bring in a striker, maybe these guys would have. That's my frustration. Why do it now?
Personally, I might be completely wrong here. I think these people are getting brought in for the stadium fund and more, which will then allow Mashiri to pay some money into the squad again, because we all know we needed a centre forward. He's pocketed quite a bit of money over the last couple of transfer windows, but obviously it is a positive, Michael, because you know I had a rant after the West Ham game regarding this board. Every Evertonian doesn't want this board in place. Every Evertonian ideally would like a sale, would like the club sold completely, all gone, brand new board, people who know how to run a football club, have the right people in place who will make the right decisions. Now, if it's only an investment, which it looks like it is, they want 2 or 3 places on the board. I think you've got to look at Ken Wright going, thank God for that. Denise is probably going to go. Probably Graham Shaw possibly could go. But it's going to look like a revamped board, but you've still got Mashiri there, and that's my main concern.
Yeah.
It is my main concern. A full sale for the club will be so much better. But if we can't get the full sale, then let's just do this so we see some changes on that board.
Yeah, agreed. I couldn't agree more, to be honest. I do wish it was a sale, but I think this is possibly the best we're going to get at the minute, if I'm being honest. I did
see something the other day that there's 2 offers on the table. One for a minority shareholding, and there's also a bid from somewhere else. I can't remember to see it now. I've seen it somewhere on some news outlet. And there's a bid from somewhere else for full control of the club, i.e. buying it. I don't think Mashiri lets the club go while the stadium's in process of getting built. Maybe these coming in, having 25% of the club, this MSP or whatever they're called, is just the start. Mashiri stays there, gets the ground built, gets more money for the club, then they take full control. That's, in my opinion, I think that's probably what will happen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's your match reaction. Not loads of like emotion, because it's just more like a bit of disappointment today, to be honest. It's just like
it's disappointment, but it's a point on the board. You know, I don't think there's much. There's no in between with this match reaction. You know, it was a better performance. We are disappointed that it's 2 points dropped. I think we deserve the point, but we need to start winning and picking 3 points up.
Home to Brentford next week, John. We're going to win. Yes. Up the top. We are. I'll tell you what, this might be fantastic, isn't it? I could do that ASMR stuff or whatever it is.
Brilliant. You could be on Pornhub as well with that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Guys, look, we'll leave it there. Welcome to OnlyFans by the Blue Boys Network. Guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Disappointing 2-2, really positive in other senses, because it's a point away from home. John's dying. It's a pleasure to hear that all over your camera. Keep smiling. Peace.
Cheers.